I'm serious. Okay, so is everyone feeling a bit emotional after that? So we're ready for a bit of excitement now? Yeah, good. Everyone stand up. Hug the person next to you. Works every time. Okay, sit back down then. Here we go. Okay, so we got 4 amazing guests now, okay? So pin your ears back, get your pen to paper. Okay, take what you want from it. Our first guest is known as the Human Spider-Man. He has a bachelor's degree in zoology and marine zoology. He's a professional rock climber, ice climber, and a wingsuit base jumper. How crazy is that? He's currently living in Canada and has recently become a father. Recently established a route in Canada which is now recognized as the hardest ice climbing in the world. And last October, he won his first international competition at the age of 41. Please welcome Tim Emmett. Was that Dave messing around then? He's a pain in the ass. Okay, this one for the lads. Our next panelist is a full-time personal trainer, a competitive athlete. She has competed in the Miami Pro, WBFF, UK BFF, and most recently came second and put through to the British finals. She is featured in a world-renowned muscle and fitness magazines, which has featured the likes of Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Despite all this, she is a mother of 3. Please welcome Yasmin Khan. Well done. Dave O'Brien again. Okay, this guy doesn't need much introduction. In 2010, he became the oldest man in the world to complete the 4 deserts. I can't spell, and I spelt it dessert. Okay? That's 1,000 kilometers in 38-week period, carrying everything on his back just to survive across the hottest, windiest, driest, coldest deserts in the planet. In 31 years, Dave has completed over 560 races worldwide. Due to his exploits, inspired the making of the film Desert Runner the movie, winning 8 film awards worldwide, and shockingly, he has completed 3,000 kilometers to date barefoot. Please welcome Dave O'Brien.
I am fire! So I ball so hard, motherfuckers wanna find me. The first niggas gotta find me.
This guy I don't even want to introduce. He's too goddamn good looking. James. Oh, hey, mate, you hack. Cheers. What's on that for? Okay, so our next special guest is from Manchester. Where's that again? Oh, okay. He is a bodybuilder, been training since the age of 16. He has been competing for the last 4 years. His competing category is physique. He has been placed in the top 5 in the last 3 competitions and was placed 3rd in the World Fitness Championships out of 200 competitors, where he was judged by some of the most famous and top bodybuilders in the world. Please welcome Mark Bricey. Well done, buddy. This chair reminds me of Basic Instinct. So do you mind if I stand?
Can we stand too?
Okay, so we don't need this anymore. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to ask a few questions, put the guys on the spot. They're very nervous because they don't know what's going to come out. Okay, here we go. So, Mark, first question. As for many men in the audience today, you were physically forced to take the capsules by your wife. Is that right?
That's
Is she
correct.
here tonight? Today? This morning? Today? Is she here?
She's over there.
Right, okay, great. Please explain your skepticism for the product and why you initially did not want to take Juice Plus at all.
Personally, I felt I had a great diet, always ate really clean, always looked after my health. Lara said to me, "Oh, try this product," and I almost laughed at her, to be honest. I feel really ashamed to say that now because it's changed my energy levels in so many ways. The product, she bought it me. I wouldn't have taken it otherwise. And it was literally after about 6 weeks of having that product, my energy, I went from sleeping 8 to 10 hours, feeling like a walking zombie, to bouncing out of bed after 6 hours sleep before my alarm clock. So it's just, yeah, thank you for introducing me to the amazing product.
And would you say it had a significant impact on her saying yes to marry you? She's over there, he's there.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
But as a physique competitor, you are judged on so many areas during your competition. Please can you explain the areas of which you were judged and the effect of which Juice Plus had on you during your competition phases?
Yeah, sure. So for anyone that knows physique, it's a bit of a beauty pageant for men. So they look at your health, they look at your overall condition, everything from skin, your hair, believe it or not. So there's all these different elements that they basically judge you on.
I'll be screwed then, won't I?
And basically my first competition, I absolutely flopped. I went into it in May 2013. Anyone that's been to Body Power Expo is the biggest competition or biggest come together nutrition and training athletes in the UK. Went into that competition, did dismal, didn't even place. From here on down, I looked great. From my face, I looked horrid. I looked like I was going to collapse, and I felt horrendous as well. So I took what I learned from that and went into 2014, May 2014, where the next expo was. I competed in Fit Factor World Fitness Champions in the same weekend. It was pretty intense, but I only just started on the product at that point. And on both of them competitions, on the lead up to the comp, I fell ill. One was exhaustion, one was just like this cold flu thing. It took me out of my training prep for about 5 days each time, so really made an impact on me. Fortunately, I still placed third in the World Fitness Champions and fifth in Fit Factor in that weekend, and I was absolutely overwhelmed, and it was just an amazing, for me, it was just going from nothing to that was just incredible. Going into May 2015, I stepped up another one. I went to USN Classic. I was walked on stage by my idol, Ryan Terry. Guy's an absolute legend, so to have that honor was incredible. And the only thing that I changed in my nutrition program, and I didn't fall ill on that competition, was embedding the Juice Plus capsules into my diet. So that proves for me the science behind the immunity, increasing your immune system works.
Fantastic. So it does back up the immunity studies, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
massively so.
And obviously you were a skeptic like I was for many years. I worked in sports science for many years. What would you say to anybody, especially the men out there, any arrogant, ignorant personal trainers in the audience? What would you say to them?
I just say, guys, listen, try it. I was one of them, so I understand exactly where you're coming from. This product is pure health. It's all about inner health. And for me, anyone who's got a life insurance policy out there, this is the best insurance policy you can get in your life. Your Nigel Eccles is absolutely amazing, and I love hearing him speak and talks about inner health and the way that affects your body. So by putting this product in your body, you're insuring yourself against them nasty diseases that I mentioned earlier on.
Excellent. Big round of applause there. So, our next guest, all right, I've been very much looking forward to speaking to this guy. I mean, jumping out of planes and jumping off rocks and climbing up sheer rock faces. I think that's pretty crazy, okay? He is the human Spider-Man. So Tim, question out to you. You've been taking Juice Plus for 16 years. How did you first hear of Juice Plus and why you decided to take Juice Plus?
Well, my parents have been taking Juice Plus for even longer than me, and I had an accident when I shattered my patella, my kneecap, after falling 30 feet. And they'd been trying to get me to take Juice Plus for ages, and I was like, yeah, do you know what, I'm good. You know, I don't need that sort of stuff. That's for old people. And they turned around and they're like, Tim, do you know what, if you take this, it'll speed up your recovery. And I was on crutches. I'd never been on crutches before. And I thought, okay, I'm in. Get me some now. Because I wanted to go back to climbing and I wanted to feel healthy again. So, yeah, that's how I started.
Great. And the extremity of your sport requires a huge amount of athletic conditioning. Huge amount. Strength, cardiovascular fitness, the ability to deal with stresses, and make the life-saving decisions whilst under amount of stress and fatigue. Am I right? So please share with us some of the demands of which the sport places on your body and how current nutritional strategies with Juice Plus are so fundamental.
Yeah, climbing has many different aspects to it. You've got mountaineering, which is a high altitude, or you've got bouldering or sport climbing, which is more of a gymnastic maneuver. And I tend to specialize by not specializing in any of them. I do all of them, or try to. And I really find that when it comes to the point where you can't do anymore, like maybe you've been climbing for 10 hours or maybe even 20 hours, or you're at high altitude, it's at that point where usually when your body doesn't work anymore that most people, they have to stop, or they can't get to the top of the mountain, or they can't get to the top of their climb. And I've been in a number of situations now where I've been with either my climbing partner or I've been with a team of climbers, and we've been climbing for such a long time that everyone is done. They're just done. And I was in Pakistan at 6,000 meters, about to wingsuit fly off Great Trango, which is like the highest wall in the world. And we'd taken us like weeks to get there. And we got to this point where the three people that I was with, they were done. You know, they didn't have the energy to be able to go and do it safely. And I was like, I'm ready, man. You know, I want to do this. You know, the conditions are perfect. I feel good. And there's the exit point over there. I want to go. But I didn't have anyone to do it with. And I realized that it was because I had a higher level of nutritional support that allowed me to perform really, really well at that sort of altitude, because you're carrying so much stuff and it's absolutely exhausting, like getting everything into position to do something like this. And more recently, when I started climbing, I tended to do more adventurous climbs, which didn't really require that much sort of personal physical performance. But as I've got older and become a dad, my time is much less than it was before, and I have to be a lot more strategic about how I can achieve my goals. And I've really focused on the performance aspect, so trying to take my climbing to the next level from a physical aspect. And since then, I've thought, well, how can I do that? What can I do to achieve this? And I've really focused on nutrition. I started doing Transform 30, which some of you will know about, and I'm 41, and I'm climbing the hardest routes that I've ever climbed in my life, and I look at a lot of my friends that haven't taken Juice Plus and haven't tried Transform 30, and they're kind of staying at the same sort of level. And I think that if I take a professional view on food and embrace what Juice Plus has to offer, it enables me to continue being a professional climber for many, many years, and also help other people to achieve their goals as well. So it's been amazing, actually. Really, really, really into it.
And has your mother and father looked at seeing you, sending you for some advice, counseling, or anything like that?
Well, I think my mum's had she's had some challenges with me going away on these trips, but what I figured out is that it's much better to tell her what I've done rather than what I'm about to do. Yeah.
What's next for you? I mean, how can you top off putting on a squirrel suit and jumping off a building?
God, I don't know really. I teach my son how to do it. No, just kidding.
Well,
I'm going out
he's
to
not quite 5 yet.
Yeah, he's only 2.5. But he does say, "Oh, Dad, I want to fly around the mountains." And we've never shown him a wingsuit film or anything like that. I don't know where he got that from, but yeah, I'm going to Patagonia in a month, and I'm going with a friend of mine, and we've got this huge mission to take loads of gear into base camp, which is about 15 miles. We're going to have to do like 5 shuttle runs to get all our gear in there, and then we're going to try and climb what's been called the hardest unclimbed peak in Patagonia. So we'll see. I think when it really comes down to it, when your body is about to give in, if you do have a high level of nutritional support, that's when you have a chance to be able to keep going, and that's when it really counts.
Absolutely, thank you. And thanks very much for making me feel about my life and how boring I live my life. Well, that's fantastic. Tim Emmett, guys. Our next special guest, I was introducing her as Zoe earlier, and she told me, she goes, "I'm not Zoe, I'm Yasmin." Yasmin Khan is not from Luton, which I just found out. I've been introducing Zoe from Luton. Where are you from originally?
My name's Yasmin, and I'm
Great,
actually from
great.
Hertfordshire.
Oh, brilliant. Hertfordshire. Anyone from Hertfordshire? Pretty bad. Okay, so our next special guest, Yasmin, is a full-time personal trainer, okay? Whereabouts do you work? Do you work in a gym or?
Well, I'm self-employed, but I'm based out of a gym in Luton.
Oh, there you go. That's where it
comes
was.
from.
That's
Yes.
where I got it from. Okay. So, like so many sports conditioning programs, each program will be broken down into phases or stages or cycles or mesocycles, leading up to the competition. Can you define each stage leading up to competition and the sacrifices and risk factors in each stage?
Okay, yeah.
I'll say the question again, don't worry.
Well, there's 2 stages, and they're both awful, to be fair. And some of you may know about bodybuilding, others may not. And it's pretty much a lifestyle, the entire cycle. So the first part of the cycle is a bulking stage or an off-season. And what that entails is eating quite a lot of food, not unhealthy foods, sort of good foods, but a lot of it and very regularly. And this is to build your muscle. And this actual bit, the off-season bit, is crucial. If you don't get this bit right, then the next part goes horribly wrong. So we do a lot of training, heavy weights, and a lot of sort of eating. But it's not great because it's not nice foods. Yes, it's chicken, but it's bland and there's too much of it and you don't want to eat it, but you have to. So that's kind of the first stage in simple terms. And the second part of it is prepping for your competition, or the cut-in phase. Now, this is when you have to strip away the fat on your body so that you can reveal those amazing muscles that you've just built. And again, this is equally as awful because you're still eating pretty much the same types of food because they're all non-processed foods, so chickens, vegetables, rice, but in very, very small amounts. And it changes throughout as you get closer to your competition, but you look amazing at the end of it. And I think the risk factors that you kind of put yourself through, because you're eating, you are eating good foods, but you're eating the same things over and over again. So in normal terms, you could get your nutrition from maybe carrots and lots of different things, a variety. However, when you are competing, you're very strict. You may just be having your cod and your broccoli and some rice. So you're lacking a lot of nutrients as well. So you're getting your carbs, your proteins, your fats, but you're not getting those vitamins and minerals that you would get from, say, fruits and vegetables. And I found that had a big impact in me, not at the beginning, but at the end of the cycle, because once I'd finished competing, it wasn't the last one because I've been using Juice Plus for 2.5 years now, but prior to that, every time I finished competing, I was so ill. I had cold, flu, conjunctivitis, and that was just purely because my body was just had it. I'd run it into the ground, and through taking the Juice Plus capsules for 2.5 years now, every time I've prepped for a competition, I haven't had that. You know, so my immune system hasn't suffered as much as it would. It still suffers slightly, because some of you may know about the menstrual cycle we were talking about.
Yeah, we had a good chat about that earlier.
And I didn't know whether to bring it up or not, but James
I was going to ask Mark to talk
certain
about it, but I
that
thought you were the best
should.
one for the job.
So when you get your body fat as a woman really low, your menstrual cycles stop as well. So there's a lot of things that happen to your body that you wouldn't normally have happen if you weren't dieting so hard. So it's crucial that you support it with such things that I found as like Juice Plus. And I think there was another part of the question, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, well, basically, you know, from my background, I understand that you have to get your body fat extremely low. How low would you go towards the competition phase?
To be honest, I try not to measure my body fat. However, I did. I was naughty, so I did. And I'd done it a couple of days after I had finished competing, so I had eaten lots of nice foods by then. And it was 6.6% body fat, which is really low for a woman, really low.
And unfortunately, that does have some risk factors which you've elaborated. But from the bodybuilders and competitive bodybuilders that I've worked with in the past, they've always been so terrified of fructose. Why is that?
We're terrified of anything that sounds like sugar. You know, so we are told to stay away from fruits, you know, obviously cakes and biscuits. So pretty much all we eat is blueberries and maybe a banana after a workout. And for us, sugar isn't just sugar. So whether it's coming from a fruit, yes, it's fantastic. We can't have that when we're trying to get our body fat so low. But in the average person, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So when I'm off season, I have lots of fruit. But when I'm prepping, I don't. And so that's where I'm lacking. And that's why the Juice Plus has helped me so much. And I must say, the last time that I was here, some of you may not have noticed me, but I was laying at the back on the floor because I had 2 prolapse discs and a disc bulge, so I could barely walk. And I'd done a lot of research, and not just on the Juice Plus, and I also spoke to Dr. Nigel Eccles, who is a real help. And I literally quadrupled my Juice Plus capsules. I was having my shake, but I was adding turmeric as well. And that really speeded up my recovery. My back is still not great, but the Juice Plus really helped. And the surgeon said I would never lift a weight again. And I came out of the hospital, I lifted weights, and I came second and was put through to the British finals. So,
Wow.
You know,
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I think it's quite amazing, obviously, a mother of 3, full-time personal trainer, and still able to do that and keep in that condition. And how old, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 37, turning 38 this year.
There you go.
This is
So
the
that's
anti-aging
so we got a few
that
backups there,
Nigel
haven't
was
we?
talking about.
Why would they take the Juice Plus Premium during their cutting phases? Well, they're afraid of fructose, but guess what? There's no sugar in the capsules, so they get the benefit of all the phytochemicals that Juice Plus Premium allows. Perfect. We've also got the anti-inflammatory backup there because of your back, and also we've got the anti-aging properties of the product, which Dr. Nigel Eccles speaks so well of. So that backs up the science, right? Yeah? Okay, thank you very much, Jasmine. That was amazing. What's next for you?
I've got another competition coming up August the 28th. So I'm off season at the moment, so you'll probably see the majority of the time me eating.
So you're fattening up then?
I'm already fat than I normally am. So I'm still proceeding to get fatter, and then I will look ripped soon.
Happy days. Well, we hope you win, and everyone is going to wish you well, right?
Thank you.
Very inspiring, very inspiring. David.
Yes, sir.
I presented with you over many different countries.
Oh, you did.
We've had a lot of good times. But listening to you present over the past 5 years, I've seen you highlight a few things. One, you know when you're having a bad day on a race when a penguin overtakes you.
Correct.
Secondly, when you buy the wrong poles for the snow. But you always go on about fueling the body for repair.
Sure.
Can you clarify what you mean and give an example of how you would repair?
Right. I'm just looking at the clock. I've got 3 seconds left, apparently. So that's it. Done. See you, lads. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm known for, I suppose. One of the one-liners I use quite a lot. The difference between fitness and health. And it's huge, you know. For me, I fuel my body to repair. For a lot of people, they fuel their body to perform. I think all us guys here, we fuel our bodies to repair. You know, and what I mean by that, James, is like, I can get anyone there, any one of you, to perform. You know, I can give you a power gel, I can give you a, I can give you a drink, sports drink. Woo! You go up, you come down, you go up, you come down, you go up, you come down, and you stay down. And I saw this in the desert many, many times. You get this insulin fluctuations, you get this sugar fixes. And it's short-term gain, but long-term detriment to your body. So what I'm talking about, the difference between fitness and health, you've seen the photograph, haven't you, James? The one that I used, where there was a young man in the Gobi Desert in China, and he was 27 years of age from here in the UK, from the British Army, and we were coming in on the long run. It was a 110-kilometer run. This was the 5th day. We'd already run 3.5 marathons, and he was not good. We had lost a guy the day before, an American guy, 31 years of age, Nicholas, and he had died. And I said, this is not going to happen on my watch. They were the age of my kids, for God's sake. So I came across this guy. I would bring somebody to a checkpoint, and then I'd head off again. And when I came in at the finish that 27 hours later, without sleep, he was hanging off me. I had him for a couple of hours. And somebody took a picture when we were coming in. So when I put that picture up around the world, I circle my face, and I say, that's health. And then I circle Hugh's head, and I say, that's fitness. This young man was half my age, was running 100-mile runs with a backpack. I wouldn't know what a 100-mile run was in training if it bit me in the ass. And yet, why is this? Why did this happen? If he's fitter than I could ever be, why was this happening to him? And this is where we're talking. This is what I mean by fueling your body to repair, giving it the right type of nutrients, getting this beautiful, slow release to your muscles, to your organs. Raw food, and that's exactly where I'm coming from when I say that. Fuel your body to repair, not necessarily to perform. Because if you do fuel your body, by the way, to repair, you have a strong immune system. We talked about immune systems, all of us. It's not even about the deserts. People say, oh, Dave, you know, these 4 deserts in 2010, the oldest guy to do it and all that. But what about getting there without getting sick? I mean, I've been running now for what?
50
over
years?
30, be quiet. Over, hey, you're good. Over 30 years, over 600 races. I've never, ever been injured or sick or missed a race due to sickness or injury. And my friends, that's not just good luck or good genes. And it's certainly not fitness. It's good health. And you know, I'm kind of like, I suppose, work in progress. But that's really what I'm talking about. Fueling your body to perform properly with good nutrition. And that's it, really, James. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, a lot of people, especially in the fitness world, especially in professional rugby, it's all, they fuel themselves to perform.
Yes.
It's all about the performance, because it's a business. It's their lifestyle. But a lot of them don't focus on the repair, the recovery. Initially, that is the most vital component. That's how you adapt and grow and develop and get better.
Sure.
And it's so important.
And you and I, we all know here that the very act of exercise, I mean, people say, is exercise good for you? Yes, it is. But it has, when you burn food for fuel, you're creating a lot more free radical damage. All of us did in all the events we do. We're burning this fuel like bad exhaust, and we're getting this free radical damage. And this will, you know, it predisposes to degenerative disease down the road, to aging process. I mean, my skin should be like a bag of old raisins at 62. No, it should, seriously. I mean, I've been out in this, go away, you.
He's wearing tights.
Don't mind Tim. But you know what I mean? Wouldn't you wonder why that hasn't happened, though? With all that oxidative stress, burning all that food in those deserts, 1,000 kilometers, and still my skin is fine. So wouldn't you think some people would ask the question, why? Why is that happening? And so for me, you know this, Juice Plus, I've been taking Juice Plus for 20 years and 6 months. And I used to have a lovely flock of, you know, long hair, blonde hair.
Me too.
Yeah, you too. And after 3 months on Juice Plus, it was gone. I'm only saying, but I'm very passionate about that, guys, on a serious note. And for me in the desert, I trebled my Juice Plus. I was taking 6 fruits, 6 veg, and 6 berries, along with the complete. I'd have 2 or 3 completes a day in the desert when I was on those runs. And that was it. I wasn't on the gels. I wasn't on some, don't give me that crap. I don't want to hear you need this stuff. No, you don't. You do not need this stuff. It's short-term gain. It's a sugar fix. It's chronic. Don't be taking it. Raw food, guys. Try telling a piece of broccoli it doesn't have enough of anything in it. But you know what I mean? It's true. Get that immune system build up. I mean, I was eating a bit of, an avocado the other day. It dropped on the kitchen floor. What is it, a 5-second rule or something like that? I left it on my floor for 30 seconds. I picked it up and I ate it. Uh-oh, here we go. What's wrong?
Eat it.
That's it.
Yep. Okay, final question, Dave.
Yes, sir.
With such huge physical demands placed upon the competitors in your sport, desert runner, obviously people do die, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately.
Please give an example of when Juice Plus made the most significant difference.
I got some bad water with some other runners in the Sahara Desert. It was pretty severe, and myself and a bunch of guys, it ran through us. We had diarrhea for a couple of days, and they give you Imodium to try and stop it. It took everybody out that had that water, bar me. And it was really tough for 4 days, honestly, with no nutrition. I was beginning to lose my sight. My muscles were stiffening up. And when I got to a checkpoint, they had to drag me into the checkpoint. I had another 60 kilometers to go. It was getting dark, and my heart was racing. And you know, Tim, what I'm talking about. When you get that severely, I mean, I had no nutrition. I was dehydrating. So they let me settle down for a little bit, and they wanted to give me stuff. I wouldn't take it. They wanted to give me the gels. I was spitting it out. Leave me alone. And they had this camera on me, and they said, you know, you're recovering, but we can't let you out there. And I said, I want to go out there again. And they said, well, you know, when you're gone out there, there's nothing I can do for you. And I said, thank you very much, Doc. That makes me feel a whole lot better. And she didn't smile, seriously, guys. And I got up, I got out, I got complete into me, Juice Plus complete into me. 2 hours for the first time in 4 days. I kid you not. As I sit here, I tell you this story. And over the next 30 hours, I didn't stop. I kept going. I overtook 33 people, and I helped about a half a dozen people get in home safely. And I'm telling you now, that is not just good luck, good genes, or a load of crap in my body. It's plant-based nutrition. Mental ability, yes, of course, but you can only do that. Your body will shut down. It will take you out. I don't care how strong your mind is if you don't have the recovery and the repair at the cellular level. I could not have done it without Juice Plus. That's a fact. Woo! Thank you.
Well, guys, you've been a wonderful audience. I'd love to thank my guests for being very patient. I know you've been nervous. You don't know what's on these cards, especially you, Dave. But, guys, I wish you every bit of success for the future. You are true advocates for this wonderful product. And you are all beautiful, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at the party. I'm wearing a suit. And I've come here as Rob Molyneux today. Checkered. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a massive round of applause, please, here for our Performance Plus panel.